So there's been a recent video circulating that, in very simplistic terms, tried to make a delineation between the Black Lives Matter website and political campaign donations from an organization called ACT Blue. And I felt that video was a little simplistic and didn't tell the full story and may be misleading. So I wanted to do my own research. And before I get into this, I just want to say that I have no skin in this game. I'm not a political commentator. I really do look at everything that's posted politically with, a critical eye. And I am only doing this because as an American citizen, I believe that truth sets us free. Truth is probably my top value in life, and I think that it matters. And so that's why I'm doing this. I also want to say that I have worked in marketing for almost 10 years. I've been a part of the development and design of many, many, many websites. And so I understand the regulations and the best practices and the industry kind of requirements when it comes to information online. So with that being said, I'm just going to get started and show you what I found. So we're going to start obviously at the blacklivesmatter.com website. And the first thing that I'll just note, which is a minor thing, but most of you are probably used to the annoying pop-ups that come up on website these days that talk to you about cookies, and you have to accept that this website will use cookies. And that didn't happen for me on this website, which is just bad practice, but not at the end of the day, not the end of the world. But because that didn't pop up, I did want to go and read their privacy policy, which is interesting because beyond telling me what their privacy policy was, it told me who owns this website. So this website is owned by Black Lives Matter Global Foundation Incorporated, which obviously is not a nonprofit. It is a corporation. Black Lives Matter does have a nonprofit under a similar name, which I've researched all of that. I won't get into that in this video. But that just tells you that this website is not owned by a nonprofit. And that affects how you should view the content on the website for sure. So the other thing that makes that upsetting to me is that if you are not a nonprofit website, the word donate in this call to action is very misleading because you don't donate to for-profit companies. Regardless, let's go ahead and click on donate and see what happens. The first thing we see immediately, if you look up here at the domain, we have switched websites. We see both a change in the favicon, which is the little image that comes up on your tab, and also in the domain. So we have left the Black Lives Matter website and we have entered ACT Blue's website, which is a completely different organization. We never received communication or a notice or a pop-up that told us that we were leaving the Black Lives Matter website. That is also against the rules. Let me pause for a second because my dog wants in. All right, so moving on. We see the language here. We see it say donate to fuel our campaigns for justice. It's telling you that you're giving immediately to the Black Lives Matter Global Network. You can see I went through with this purchase, so it's kept my cookies, it's saving my information there. Let me just reset for the sake of this video. But it's telling you it will benefit this global network. I could not find any information specifically about what that global network is. So if you continue to go down, we see contribution rules. This is interesting. The number one contribution rule, I've never seen that on any other online purchase, has some interesting language. Made from my own funds or the funds of an authorizing corporation or other entity, etc. This is interesting language. I've never seen it before. Let me show you where else I see it. I'm going to open this in incognito because I was on here before, so it's going to remember my cookies and have an annoying pop-up. If you go to the donation website for President Trump, it's clear that you're contributing to a political campaign, and you go through to contribution rules. What's the number 2 contribution rule? The exact same language as is on the third-party link from the blacklivesmatter.com website, which is actually not blacklivesmatter.com, which is ACT Blue. But this is language used for political contributions. That's important. So let's, number 2 contribution rule talks about ACT Blue charities being a charitable organization. Well, this is interesting. It tells you it's a 501c3 tax exempt. Well, let me go back. Just out of curiosity, I went to the terms and conditions here. And if you read through the terms of conditions, you'll notice that it is the same terms and conditions for 3 different organizations: ACT Blue, ACT Blue Civics, and ACT Blue Charities. The fact that you are running all of these very different organizations through the same website is concerning, and that's a whole nother video in itself. However, I just want to draw attention to the campaign finance laws, which talks about the limits to campaign donations. And we also want to draw attention to here. Charitable donations are tax deductible for federal income tax purposes. Social welfare donations are not tax deductible as charitable contributions. I need to make sure you know 501c3 is a charitable organization, tax deductible. That is ACT Blue Charities. 501c4 is ACT Blue Civics. That is a social welfare organization and is not tax deductible. ACT Blue is a PIC. It's a political action committee. That's what the organization is. That's why you see that name on the website or on that video, showing the millions of dollars that they have contributed to Democratic campaigns, such as Joe Biden. So this is important, okay? But let's go back to Black Lives Matter. So I could not get, this is very confusing, right? The language is confusing, the information provided is confusing, and it's all kind of blurred the lines between charity, PIC, and a 501c4, which is a social welfare organization that has more flexibility in political activity. So because I couldn't find direct information before I made a contribution, I actually went through and I donated $1. Okay, so I went through the process, I donated $1. I still didn't get any further information until I got to my receipt and my email, which I'm going to show you. All right, so this is the receipt that I received from ACT Blue. Thank you for your contribution in support of Black Lives Matter Global Network. $1. Now let's go to the bottom. Your donation of $1 will be forwarded by ACT Blue Charities, a charitable organization, to Thousand Currents, a 501c3 organization, as you requested. So my money, my $1 contribution that I made when I clicked through from Black Lives Matter to ACT Blue's website to make a contribution to what I thought was an ACT Blue charity, is actually going to Thousand Currents. So what is Thousand Currents? You probably haven't heard of them. I hadn't heard of them. So I looked them up. You can go, the state of Florida has a website that you can go and access documentation and registration information for nonprofits. So that's what I did, and I am going to show you what I found from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And let's make this big. So this is 1,000 Currents, same organization that was in my email, established in 1985. And you can see the purpose of the organization. 1,000 Currents engages in nonprofit educational and charitable activities by sponsoring small-scale development projects for the benefit of poor people in developing countries and by involving individuals and groups in the United States of America and other developed countries in the effort. Purpose for which the contributions are used. Contributions are used to support more than 500 grassroots community-led projects in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The money that is being donated through the Black Lives Matter website does not go to Americans. It does not go to Black Americans. It does not go to Black communities in America at all. It is this organization is completely misleading and misguiding American citizens. There's a lot more that I found that you can also find online. I'm going to link to some specific information, and I'll probably do another video about some of the other stuff that I found on specifically on ACT Blue. But this is wrong. It's wrong, and I need people to know what they're actually supporting when they support Black Lives Matter. They're not supporting Americans. It has nothing to do with America. I'm not saying that their efforts are not worthy of involvement, but it is absolutely misleading the way that they are marketing themselves, the way that they are gathering funding, and the way that they are using the funding. So I hope that you will like this, share this video, spread to other concerned Americans and people who are being misled and misguided by these organizations. Thanks.